reflection and refraction.
All right, so reflection is the process in which light bounces off of a surface.
Okay.
What type of surface?
Generally a mirror, but it can be really any type of surface.
Okay.
We're going to talk
wet
specifically
pavement.
about mirrors. Yeah,
Okay.
wet pavement, off a wall, even,
Shiny
as
metal?
we talk about white light bouncing off a wall and coming back white light, that's reflection,
Shiny bald head.
right? Right.
Metal, maybe?
So the law of reflection is when light hits a smooth reflective surface,
Okay.
it is reflected at the same exact angle that it hits the surface. So if you have a surface here and light's coming in at a shallow angle like this, it's going to come up at the same shallow angle. It will not go up like at a random angle like that if it's a smooth surface.
Okay, so if light comes in at a 45-degree angle, it's going to bounce off at a 45-degree angle, just
Exactly.
like a pool ball shot or something. If you're
Okay.
playing pool and you bounce ding, 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 like that.
And the light coming in, that angle it comes in at, we call that the angle of incidence.
Of
right?
incidence, because it's an incident.
Right,
It's something
something
that happened.
happening.
Yeah, an
Gotcha.
incident is something
And
happened.
then coming off, since it's reflected, that's the angle of reflection.
Right.
And they're equal to each other.
Makes sense. Cool.
Now, refraction is a little bit different. Instead of light hitting a surface and bouncing off, refraction, the light actually goes through the substance,
Okay.
but it gets bent. So this happens with like glass. This happens with lenses, crystal, all kinds of things like that, with water. Anything where light can go through it, it's going to get its speed changed as it goes through that medium. Because remember, light travels at a certain speed, and when it goes through a solid, it's going to have that speed change, and that's going to cause this apparent bending of the light.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So we typically use mirrors and lenses to represent all this stuff, right? So a mirror is an object that we use to reflect stuff. That's why when you look in a mirror, you can see yourself. So you can make yourself, get all done up pretty and whatnot.
Because all the light's reflecting back, right?
Exactly.
Hours.
I know, right? Me too. Whereas a lens is usually something that light's going to go through, and that's what does the refracting.
Okay.
So most of the time you get to what's called a focal point, which is a point in which light rays converge or come together.
Okay.
And that can happen when they're reflected or when they're refracted.
Okay. We'll revisit that when we talk about
Exactly. We'll talk
specific
more
types of
details.
mirrors and lenses.
Yeah,
different ones
let's
do
look at
different
that
things.
later, because that seems like a deep topic.
So we're going to classify different types of surfaces, and this is going to help you get through the rest of when we put all these different words together so you know what each part means.
Oh, okay. Got
so when you talk about a surface that is flat, it's called a plane. Just like in math class, a plane is just a flat surface. Okay?
Like that.
Right. Okay? So your mirror that you might look at home that's flat, that's called a plane mirror.
Okay.
Okay. Now, concave is a surface that is curved inwards. It is away from the source of light. So the way I remember this is caves, they go inwards. So if I'm looking into a cave this way, this is the concave surface.
Yeah.
Or
Now,
something caves in, you fall in.
right, yeah.
Cool.
Now, on the flip side, you have what's called a convex surface, and that's
Okay.
the opposite of concave. In fact, if you have a concave surface, the other side is going to be a convex surface. A convex surface curves towards whatever.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's kind of bent towards you, so it's the
Bubbles
opposite.
out.
Instead of cave, or it bends in and pew, bounces on there.
And bubbles out. Gotcha.
Cool.
Some random miscellaneous stuff here. It's not really random. It's part of what we're talking about. But miscellaneous stuff, you have these terms like inverted. Inverted just simply means to flip something upside down.
Like that picture.
Yep.
Exactly.
So invert is a fancy way to say flipped over. Flipped
Exactly.
upside down. Okay. I got that.
Converge means to move two things together, move something together. So in the case of light, if you converge light, you're bringing it to a point. Think like if you take a magnifying glass and you point it right, you make it a solid point. And you can
Oh, you
burn
like
things with
focus it together.
Yep.
Okay, I got it. I got
And then
it.
to diverge is to move away.
So it's the opposite. So it spreads it out.
Yep.
Okay, so it
Spreading
diverges away and then
Converge
converges together. Okay, neat.
So now we're going to talk about different types of mirrors and lenses.
Okay. Mirrors, again, going in a little more detail on these planar mirrors and that. When you look in a plane mirror, anything that's in a plane mirror, it's going to produce an image. You're going to see something that is upright and the exact same size as the original object. So it doesn't...
So it's going to be if you're standing up and you're looking in.
Yeah, you're not going to see
Yeah.
your feet up. It's going to show you standing up and
Okay.
looking in.
It'll
Now,
make it very hard to get
yeah.
rid of.
So it's going to produce the same thing. Now you're going to see, like, on the right side, it's going to be on your right side. And, you know,
Right.
it's going to be like...
It's a mirror image.
It's a mirrored image on that, but what you are going to see is your feet are on the bottom, your head's on the top. Unless you're standing on your head, it's going to still match whatever image is in that mirror.
Okay.
Concave, on the other hand, is a mirror that curves away from the light source like we talked about, and this time you're going to get an image that's actually upside down from what you looked at. And it's inverted at the focus in front of the mirror. So there's a certain spot. If you're on a concave mirror, if you get close enough to the mirror, it'll flip it back upright. If you stay away from it, the right spot, you'll be upside down.
Yeah, you might have noticed this mirror in our class.
So you guys can see that.
This is a concave mirror.
The image of our little camera here, it's not you, no matter how you look, you're not going to see yourself in there, but
That'd
it
be
should be
cool, though.
upside down. So you guys should see that it's going to be inverted or upside down.
Is it? It
Seem to
is.
work?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Nice. Look
Now,
at
if we can get it-
physics works.
If we can get it close enough, it might mess up the camera.
We'll see
Maybe
what
it went
happens
upside.
when we...
We'll see what
That
happens.
might be weird. Who knows? So there you go. So that's a concave mirror.
Yep.
Let's take a look at a convex.
Well, and I want to talk about that picture real quick. If you've
Okay.
been to the Bean in downtown Chicago, if you notice in the middle, it caves up really, really, really fast. That's an extremely concave mirror
Oh,
because
yeah,
that whole
Oh
thing.
yeah, it is,
that whole
isn't
thing
it?
is shiny.
It
right?
is. It's a mirror. It's
and yeah,
chrome.
that part it curves up like that.
That's right.
Now most of the Bean is actually a big convex mirror.
Yeah.
It's actually the cloud.
Oh yeah, it's called like Cloud Gate is
Yeah,
actually what it's
yeah.
called.
The artist gets
Yeah.
mad if you call it the bean.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone calls it though. So
True.
anyway, so a convex mirror is a mirror. It curves towards the source of the light. So
Towards the source
the
of the
other
light.
side of our
Yep.
concave mirror is a convex side.
And that's the convex side.
It diverges, so it scatters that light away from the focus, which is behind the mirror. So the focus is back here behind the
Yeah.
mirror, and it pushes all light away from that.
And that's what's happening
Yep.
in that picture there.
But
and that's what it looks like.
And it makes an upright image, but because it's spreading it out, you get a kind of like a spreading
Yeah,
of the
you
image.
kind of
It makes it
strange
look all
looking image.
weird.
Yeah, so it's like a funhouse mirror, but if you
Yeah.
look, the image is upright.
You just look like bigger.
There you go.
taller,
So upright
stretched.
and concave is inverted.
All right. Now we actually use convex mirrors sometimes for security purposes. You might
Yep.
have seen a mirror that looks like that.
Yep.
Okay. So
Let's talk about lenses.
So lenses are very important for a lot of people, especially if you're somebody who has bad eyesight like me. But convex lenses are lenses that bend the light towards the focus, and it produces an image that is smaller at the focus than what it originally saw. What it's doing is it's kind of focusing, and if you look at that image, you see those little lines with the arrows are showing you the rays of light. And when they hit the lens, they get to about the middle, they get bent. And if you notice, there's a specific spot where they all kind of come to a point to. So what they do, like if you're somebody like me who has bad eyesight and you can't see far away, that you stick a lens that's convex and they position it just right so that it focuses the light into a certain spot so you can see better.
Cool.
all right. And as you mentioned, there are some people that use convex. Actually,
Yeah.
we have convex lenses on the outside
Yes.
of our eyes.
Yes.
Just some aren't as good as others. Like
Yeah.
if you wear glasses, it's because it's messed up.
And that's actually what magnifying glasses are. Convex
Yep.
lenses.
And we're going to have those in class. Now, the opposite of that is concave lens, and that's a lens that bends light away from the focus. So rather than bringing them together, you can see in the image, it hits and it spreads them out.
So it shines through and then spreads out as
Yep.
it goes. Okay.
It's the opposite. So
Okay. And the focus is behind the lens. but-
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, and concave lenses are actually used in glasses to fix if you're nearsighted. If you're farsighted, you actually get a convex lens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Outside your eyes.
Yeah, and it just has to do with where it sets that focus for you, what position.
All right, and that's it.
Excellent.
See you in
Have
class.
a good day.
Oh, my mouse is on.